This is going to be a session, and I'm going to let Liz really talk about it, but it's just going to be, come on up, just open discussion, any kind of comments you want to make, anything that you feel is important in your workplace. This is where we want to get it recorded so that we can work with you and get you answers back, because sometimes it takes us a while to get back, but we certainly want to be there for you. And as Dylan in his speech said, we want to work for y'all.
So I will start now by literally just opening up and saying, does anybody, have you already thought this morning? Yes.
You actually led into a question I have. What is the current membership?
What is
How many members do we have?
What is the current membership? How many members do we have?
We have approximately 4,000 members.
So for those of y'all in the back, I will repeat some of this so that you can hear. Hopefully you can hear me. I have a loud... I could do this without the microphone, but anyway, I'll do it with the microphone. About 4,000 members right now of state employees, yes.
And what's the size of the workforce? What's the size of the workforce? 100,000 something?
Over 100,000.
Yes, over 100,000. At one point it was around over 102,000. Yeah, it's something like that. So do the math. Okay, we are impacted by what? Mostly retirement. Retirement. This was a boomer started, traditionalist and boomer started organization. We're now in our, what, Marshall, 63rd year? We celebrated our 60th anniversary. And so that's why membership is so important. We don't want to die out.
And that brings up another question I have. What is the incentive for employees to join VGEA if everything that comes out of this benefits all employees, all state employees? What's the incentive for them to become a member, other than support?
I mean, I know you can answer, I can answer some of that too. Well, I was just going to say part of it is that there are some of the analysis that Dylan does, or the newsletter or other things like that, are only for people who are members. The support that we give to employees, it's for membership. So as a matter of fact, we've had somebody call earlier this year and say, I'm not a member, but I need help. We feel like it's really affordable to be a member of the VGA. And if you're a membership of association like Costco, and you walked into Costco and said, hey, by the way, can I get your stuff for free? They would say no. And as you've heard today, what Dylan said, what goes on here, the amount of work that's put into this is worth every penny that the membership pays. So those type of, when he's taking these things to the board, and the board is talking about it, then that's for VGA members only. We did open up the survey, the telework survey. We opened it up broader, and
in the past we've opened up certain things to get a broader input.
Right.
Another benefit is this: if you are a member and you're having a particular issue, people change, people in positions change, things that used to be okay become problems for you, challenges for you. You get direct input from us. When you call us, if we got anybody on the board or used to be on the board that is from your agency, kind of know some of the inner workings of things, we will directly help you. Okay? I have called, I'm in the Department of Health. Marshall has emailed and said, Gale, look over this. Can you reach out, with this person? I reach out. First, I read policy. Because I'm not going to tell you something that goes against policy, and you say that VGA told you this, okay? So I read policy so that I can direct them to policy, and I help them understand policy so that they can process, is policy being followed in this situation? I am all about empowering and equipping us as employees to be able to address issues without the emotion, with the facts, with the policy, prepared, and with some solutions. Put something on the table. Well, what about this? So that's a benefit that we don't extend to everybody else. Correct me if I'm wrong, because Marshall is phenomenal. We try to help everybody we can, you know, but it's important. And we will ask people, are you a member? Because I don't think that's something you should get. It's absolutely true. If you, whatever we do benefits everyone. I've had people in my agency tell me, why should I do that? Whatever comes through, I'm going to get. And I said, that's true. But there are other things we do that you don't get.
Yeah, and if I was just asking for, I guess, selling points or arguing points for when we do talk to coworkers about VGA and joining VGA, what do we tell them? Yeah.
Right, there's such things as hospital extended stay. You'll get a, say like $125 payment, something like that.
We don't understand the question.
Well, I am actually a BSEA member, which covers my VGEA. And I had a spell where I was out for foot surgery, and they compensated me like $125 or something like that.
Okay. And what is VSEA?
Virginia State Employees Association. Is that something that is still in existence at this time?
Not that I'm aware
I've
of.
never heard of that.
Or this one, I'm in the part of the Salem residency of VDOT.
Okay.
Okay.
But one other thing I want to point out is, and I've seen, hope it never happens, but if you have a problem with grievance, workplace issues, whatever, we do have an attorney that his initial 30-minute call to you, he will guide you. So if you get into a situation with and it comes down to grievance, his suggestion to me is contact him first. He can guide you, and sometimes he can tell you what you need to do, and the issue will go away. So please, if you have an issue in that area, in dealing with that, he's worked with most state agencies that I know of, because we have a number of calls a year on that he wants to guide you, because some of the things that you think you are doing that may help you, he'll advise you not to do that, or he'll advise you what to do. So that's another plus for that, and a great big plus. Yes?
My other question is, if you guys cease to exist, that's a benefit right there. Like, if there's no members, then you guys don't exist, then nobody gets any benefits. So that's another plus. And the more members you have, theoretically, you have more power.
That's it.
So,
Most definitely.
so that these people who are saying, I'm not a member, I don't need to be a member, but if there is no VGEA, then you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
We are the only organization that the General Assembly and the Governor's Office will acknowledge to help with state employees for their benefits, their salary increase, and that type. And we have been reached out. We've had excellent working relationships with the Governor's Office. Now, Youngkin came in, and they were not aware of us. We tried to reach out to them even in their campaign, but they did not. In fact, for last year's annual meeting that we taped, we extended an invitation to both him and McAuliffe. Now, McAuliffe did give us an interview or recorded and sent us something, but we do try to reach out, and truly, the Governor's Office now knows about us, and the Secretary of Administration and DHRM. And that really helps when we have a problem. The former DHRM Director, Emily Elliott, I got to know her extremely well, and I could send her an email or call her, and she would have somebody research the situation. Another benefit that I think we have, and I'm not going to dwell on this much longer, I had an email from a member working for an agency, and she's under the new leave policy. and she has a situation that she has given, this is with leave donation. Under that new policy, or under that policy, it's not new, you cannot give her leave because of the short-term disability. And we've gone, when we met with DHR and director, I made her aware of that, and she is researching to see what can be done, because this lady in her paragraph to me said, we cannot, you know, I may lose my house because I've got to go out for an extended period of time, and I don't have money to get there, because you've got to take so much leave before you can go into short-term disability. So again, we're willing to try to address that with DHRM. Okay.
And just, you're talking about the number of employees. We've got, whatever, 100,000 state employees. Imagine how much greater the voice is. If we're at 4,000 now, if we double that to 8,000. And as a matter of fact, the North Carolina Association does have, I think they've got it for like 13,000. So we've got plenty of opportunity.
The other thing is, one of the first questions, as the board became more directly involved with legislators and that kind of thing, you know, before we were in a management company, one of the first questions they will ask is, how many members do you have? Okay. And we're honest. We say how many members we have. They've never reacted to that. But numbers speak. Numbers speak, you know. So, and we have a critical, I think we're at a critical place personally, with there's more of us going out, you know, more of us will be leaving the workforce. And, that's a major issue that should resonate with everybody. If we don't have the numbers, if we were 500 and you're making decisions, he's shaking his head, no. Mm-hmm. So that matters. It matters that we have representative membership, okay?
So on the line of membership development, do you all have a membership committee? Because if out of the 4,000, a lot of those are already retired, who are you relying on to talk to current employees about, you know, because I'll be honest, I'm not a current member, I am a former member, but I left state employment, but I'm back, and I'm thinking, I only found out about this because of social media. So there's no one else here from my agency, you know, so I'm just thinking, how do you get the word out?
Yes, we have committees. We have committees, the board has committees. We have, in the past, had efforts, we had connectors, we tried to build a connections, we had a connections program. And we were trying to identify people in different agencies who would serve as connections. VDOT, several of them had connections. Like Roy, who you met, Roy is a retiree of VDOT.
Correct.
Roy was a natural connection. He retired, but he stayed in touch with those guys, with the folks, not guys, the people there. He goes in once a year, hey, how you doing? He's well known. That people, person-to-person kind of contact. We pulled that program back. We're revamping some things so that we've had connections. Rick is now also joined membership development. If you saw in the foresight, he on the square, and that's mainly here in the capital, because you know the capital city area. He and Marsha were there. Excellent opportunity to meet folks. We have people, if y'all don't know, that come from all over the state to work even here in Richmond. Many of them. So they take information back. So we've done things like that. We always talk about membership and encouraging everybody to help with membership. See, if we each have one person, you know, y'all heard this, one person. You can get one person, we double membership in no time. It's just the effort. But this agency, we've been comfortable, y'all. Ever since I've come on, I nominated myself to be on the board years ago. I got a flyer at the state fair. The table was next to the table I had from work at the state fair, and being who I am, I reached out and said, "Oh, hello, what is this?" You know, and he gave me the flyer and everything, and I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard of this," and I had been working for the state then about 10 years. And so I read everything, and then it was, I joined, and it said it was nomination, so I nominated myself. You know, and so it's the connections itself. We all have a responsibility to keep membership growing and going forward. So there are plans. We have Liz, and part of finding out about what her skill set is and what all she does, you can look forward to. There will be more going on. We got back on social media. There have been things that we've been wanting to do that just get slow tracked. We all worked or retiree, have other lives, but we needed more capacity, okay, to get some things done. And so I hope you saw changes before as we moved out of a different structure for handling the association. And now I think we've taken that, we've broken through the veil. I think now we're actually having a communications person, consultant that's dedicated to helping us with branding and all of those kinds of things. Branding, VGA was never really branded, y'all. It was word of mouth. We were never truly branded, and that will be happening, and it is happening. It is happening. So that's sort of part of that. So we all play a part. Our dues, if you know what other people pay, our dues hasn't gone up. Okay, our dues, it is $46. It cuts in half when you go retiree, when you leave and go into retirement. Okay. And $96 for an active employee, okay? Just process that per year. Process that.
I have to admit, that was part of the reason why I was considered joining, was because the dues were so low.
Yeah, get in now. Tell folks. Come on, get in now. Inflation affects everything, okay? Okay, get in now. This is the best deal going for what you get.
Cheaper than a Happy Meal. So to piggyback off what the lady had said, I have been a state employee for 17 years. It wasn't until I went to a legislative training session where I met your lobbyist. And when he gave me his business card, I was floored that you even existed. That was about 3 years ago. And as far as membership, you're absolutely right, because when they ask for numbers also mean votes.
Thank you.
So when they hear you have 4,000 people that might be affected and upset when something goes wrong, those are 4,000 votes they may lose.
Excellent.
And it's all about the vote.
Yes, it is.
Literally
And when they know
50%.
you're statewide.
Yeah.
We're statewide. So we're going to touch you one way or the other.
And I'll say one more thing. My parents worked in a factory where they were unionized, and they were forced to give out of their paycheck. It came straight out of their paycheck. They had no choice. So, I mean, $96, you have a voice, but you have to brand even more so people,
Yes,
employees
yes,
know.
yes, even more so
Yeah.
with this generation.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And with the changes in the workforce. So yes,
I think today, since we're all here now and you have a lot of representation from different, entities, I think this is a great time to maybe put a listing out so we can put our names down, to maybe be a representative for our agency and things like that. So I think this is a good platform.
For those of you in the back, what she's saying is that today, because we have such great representation of all of the different agencies, that it would be a great opportunity to maybe get everybody who wants to be a representative for their agency. As a matter of fact, where can we put that? We'll put it at the table out here where you got your name badge. Yeah, when you came this morning, you got your name badge. If you'd like to go by, we'll make sure that we put something out there where you can put your name and your department. Of course, a lot of that is also on your sign-up list, but just let us know.
And we can, what that means is then Marshall will get a packet of information to you. You will get our brochure, which has the registration form, some incentives, things like that. We would, and then we can pull you all in. We won't just leave you hanging. Then you could call in if there are questions and information, some Q&A. We had that kind of stuff before with Connections.
And I wanted to say that on previous engagements, I have been a representative, and I have, like, as I get new employees in, I give them the pamphlet and let them know about the situation. And I know you always had drives previously where
we did actual membership
to bring the most enrollees and things like that. So that might be a good platform for that.
And we will revisit that. That needs to be revisited. Also, the other thing that where was it? I'm there, y'all. Try to call it. It's gone. It'll come back.
So this is a newbie question I'm asking on behalf of everybody here. It used to be that there were local chapters of the VGEA prior to COVID. And there was some talk, I think I had mentioned it to Cynthia, about them eventually restarting. But again, that takes people on the ground in those localities who are they're willing to put the time in to help kind of do that. Do you have any information about that?
And Rick Fowler, Rick, stand up back there.
Rick, you want to come up here too?
Rick's doing membership.
Because Rick Fowler is who we're talking about as our membership.
If you have a regular meeting in your office and you have time for some of us to come out, we'll be glad to set up a table or speak to the group and inform them, tell them about VGEA, and Rick does a lot of that. So anyway, Rick,
I was actually doing my job. I was getting an application back there. So kill two birds with one stone. Just like we said before, thank y'all for being here, and I'm sure this has been a very informative session. And I'm setting up the table outside. You probably see when you go by. When I'm not doing lobbying, I do go out into the field. I do membership development. I'll have a bunch of calling cards on the table I'd like to pass to you. If you can get me in whatever agency, VDOT, DMV, Health Department, community colleges, child support enforcement, whatever. As Nancy Rodriguez used to say, you call me, I come. So I'd be happy to meet with you. And actually, a good way to get into an organization is to meet the HR person. So if you have an HR person that you can connect me with, you can actually leave that name with me today, and I can contact that person and see if I can get in. But
I thought it came back through Rick. That was the next thing I was going to say about HR. Because with HRs, we've had efforts we've made with HRs in the past, and it all varies. We used to have an HR person, and what she told me was, Gail, I'm going to get the benefit. People are going to get the benefit regardless. So, she wasn't willing to just mention VGA when she did orientation. Okay, orienting our new employees. But some HR officers do. So, especially if they know about us. So, we've been down several ways of trying to kind of get this to new employees and others up front. There should be, if there's not even a VGA poster in your agency on the bulletin boards, we do connectors and things like that. We used to get all of that out. They probably need updating, things get taken down. But I think we have any of those? Well,
I do.
it's probably
you got me. So what I can do is I can develop something that I send out to I can send out a packet. We'll make basically kind of like a press kit thing available so that you'll have those things available, and we'll email everybody who's in the membership to let them know that these resources are available. The other thing I was going to say, and we said this in the Foresight newsletter, some of the HR, what I heard from Cynthia was that some of the HR and some of the employees are afraid to join
Yes.
the VGA because they are concerned this employee, as an employee, that they will be treated differently or treated rudely or something. Some sort of action will be taken against them because they're unionized. Well, this is not a union, and y'all can talk to that more. But more importantly, we are so, and as your communication person who's sending out emails, we are so careful to make sure that when we're doing surveys, that anything that we give is anonymous so that the state agencies don't have to know, right, who is, so if you can come in, you can call and you can complain and you can have a grievance and your management is not going to be made aware of that. The other thing that we recommend is that if you don't want to sign up or somebody doesn't want to sign up with their work email address, they can sign up with their personal email address, and so the communications that we can send can just come to the house. Some people don't have a problem with it coming to work address, but just want to let you know that those are kind of concerns that we've heard, and those are the workarounds for it.
We've asked in the past, in the foresight, we have asked for more information from you, not just your work information. Everybody should have a backup, your backup personal email with us, if you're a member. That is important, and that's now on the registration form and everything. So, very important. We always face the issue of, will a governor come in and decide that, you know, we're not the only people that they take dues out of our paycheck for. There are other associations and that do that. And there have been legislators who question it and say, why are we doing this? And we've made it through so far. But there's going to be somebody who comes in and going to say the state will not be doing this third-party thing anymore. Okay? Yeah, they don't have to do that. So we need to have current information on everybody, because if we don't have payroll deduction, then that means people will have to pay directly with a credit card or send in a check or that kind of thing. And we're trying to move that way so that we don't get slammed if that happens, okay? So there are a lot of issues, and also, I just want to say this, it's very important. It is important that you open your emails from VGEA. It is very important that you do that. I know we're busy, that's why it's good to have another email address on, because at work, you know, some days I don't get to email until I do that when I go home, okay? Because it's that kind of, there's so much going on. I try to do it before I leave work. I try to do it in the morning, but sometimes you walk in and you're hit with things and you're just going. And so it's good to have a backup email, another email, and maybe make that your primary email. Because you could always send from your personal email to your work email, especially if it's a survey or something we're asking you to respond to. Get it done and be done with it. But it's very important to open your email. If you go too long without opening your email, Constant Contact, like all of those kind of email services, will drop you. Not drop you, we see it. They unsubscribe you. That's a lot going on the web, on the internet. Imagine all of these messages going back and forth and all that. They unsubscribe you. Okay, and then we get the calls like, I'm not getting anything from VGEA, because you hear that something came out that you want to know about and you didn't get it. So it's very, very important. Just open it.
I want to add something to that. I'll add real quick that if you take a time of leave from the state suspends your email.
Yes.
All right. So it goes to it's a little bit more advanced than like an out of office message. Okay. So it puts it kind of on hold. And what Constant Contact tries to deliver the email to you, it says that this email doesn't exist. After Constant Contact, after you try to send it to you like 3 different times, something that's 2 or 3 different times, it unsubscribes you. So there's a lot of people who took times of leave for medical reasons, for having children, whatever, or even those who have left and come back to a new role. They leave and their email address, it got unsubscribed. So if you're not receiving emails from the VGEA, you should be. And again, you can give us a call and we'll make sure that gets all taken care of. Yes?
Also too, like I work for TAP and they block all the constant contacts coming through.
So they block, so you work for an agency that blocks constant contact emails from
Well,
coming
we
through.
get some, but if they come from the governor and all that stuff. we get
Oh, okay, so.
So a lot of the VGA stuff are not getting.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's, again, another reason to have a personal email.
So we let them all-
Is very firewall.
Yeah.
Well, and just so you know, we will, if you provide your primary and your secondary, we'll send it to both of those, or you can just, you don't have to do a secondary one, but if you have both of those, we'll send it to both.
But I just wanted to caution you that other agencies may do the same thing.
Thank you.
And also the privacy issues for our email, Commonwealth-wise, are getting more stronger and stronger, and it could affect all of us at some point, okay? I know I got an email about constant contact in general, when I've sent something out that went, and it said, if you are sending out broader emails to MailChimp and Constant Contact, to please contact OIM and let them know, and I didn't, because I don't send them out anymore, but I'm just saying, that is, you know, protections, y'all. I mean, a lot of our work in agencies needs to be behind firewall, really, a lot of things. So there are changes always happening that will affect
Okay,
us.
you've got a question.
I do have a question, and I don't know how to do this. If I'm, as a state employee, if I were to talk to other employees about this association, is this something that I would need to clear with my HR department ahead of time, or are we free to just talk to people about it?
You're free to talk to them.
Okay. Just wanted to know.
And if someone says you cannot, it's not true.
It's
You
not
can,
true.
yeah, it's not true. There are people who are afraid to get emails and things like that at work, and we had to get that straight. It's not true. That you can have a conversation, you don't spend your whole workday running around talking about VGA. But if,
I mean, you can if you want to.
but then don't call us and say that now what y'all gonna do about my job. I was promoting and now I'm written up. But putting up a poster about VGA or mentioning VGA, that should not be a problem at all. And if it is, then just direct them to info@VGA and they can see what we're all about and that kind of thing. So, no, you should be, if you can talk about all the other stuff we talk about at work.
Let me add one.
Talk about.
Well, I don't want us to be concerned about like this is some sort of, you know, clandestine organization that's doing things. I mean, as you heard earlier, we're really trying to develop great relationships with our HR representatives, with the administration. So we're not trying to do things that are harmful. We're actually trying to inform the administration and help them to do well by employees or retirees. So just don't want to make it, it's not a scary thing. We really are trying to do, you know, great development of relationships. Wait, hold on 1 second. Who was next? You saw.
Yeah, this lady.
In just a second. Yes.
Me? Okay. For me, I guess in my old age, you know, black and white, concrete kind of thing. So step by step, what I kind of heard was, you know, as a VGEA member, what can I do to assist with membership, and what are my action steps that I can take, you know, to develop membership. So should we also be sharing in here that first, you know, Rick is our primary contact, leave your contact information with Rick so that he can reach out to you and your HR person, and then perhaps at some point, as far as membership development, that we can begin to create or broaden our membership committee or development team, so that everyone will have the same talking points that they can share with everyone at their age.
Yes, definitely.
And by the way, today is Dana's first day of being a full board member. She was kind of sporting yesterday. This is the first day, which should be like a year from now. So thank you. And I was just kind of whispering to Liz, if you're working for a particular state agency, say VDOT, and you leave to go to DMV, your HR person that you're just leaving does not forward your paperwork to the new position. So if you're leaving from one agency going to the other, contact us, one of us, email, call. I mean, I have my phone in my back pocket 24/7. So if you need information.
He's not paid to work 24/7.
I do work on weekends.
No, I'm just saying, don't think we got somebody on paid.
No, I'm
And
not.
Marshall either.
But if you are leaving your agency, contact us, we'll mail you another application in, then you can forward it back and it goes to the correct HR person. We've had numerous people that didn't realize that, and you call and say, well, your membership dropped, what happened? Well, I went from this agency to that agency. Nobody told me I had to let y'all know. So we have lost some people like that, so keep that in mind. And again, if you can get me in with your HR person, I'll be happy to do it. Dana is a prime example. I met up with Dana at Green Rock Correctional Center. She hopped on board and she's been a member for a long time. And it's people like Dana that can get us in. We don't even know who the HR people are, so it's important that you can contact the HR person. When you leave today, if you want to give me information, my table's right out here, and I can contact the HR person and see if we can get in. That's kind of what I do when I'm not at the General Assembly, so we stay pretty busy and enjoy your raises. And I think Mindy has a question.
Yeah, I have one question on that, and then, well, let me do the one that I want to, if you can bring back to HR, tell them that cardinal leaf system is the worst thing that's
She's writing it down.
The active state employee benefits, the ones that the state don't subsidize, if the retirees can get in on that, like the Weight Watchers and particularly wireless phones and Weight Watchers.
Right, so all the benefits that you see when you go to the DHRM site that are available to active employees, you're saying they should be made available to retired employees as well?
And I know the wireless wants your work email, but there's got to be something that they can use to see that you're retired from an agency.
Right.
So, and that would help because there's a good benefit. You can piggyback off of that, and that also will continue your benefits. And the last thing is, also when you retire, your membership is not automatically moved to retirement. You have to make a point to sign up again, and they renew it once a year on your, whenever you do it. Like I retired in January, so in January, I have to let them know that I'm going to be paying.
Right, so anytime you're having a change in employment, definitely let us know and we'll get that information straightened out for you. And Ann Winslow, actually, she's not here today. But she is, I haven't seen her. Oh my gosh, okay, sorry about that, I hadn't seen her. But she helps get all of that information. She can help with that as well, make sure that everything is tightened up. Thanks for waiting, sorry about that. What's your question?
So in the past, I have forwarded VGEA emails as a recruiting tool.
Yes.
And I've refrained from doing that this year. I don't have to tell you why. But you had said earlier that you think it's fine to talk about VGEA. How about forwarding emails on the state system? No?
I think the information that we give, the factual information that we provide is a benefit of being a member. Okay? To be able to hear Dylan. Dylan pretty much this year wrote our legislative updates. Okay? So, you see what I'm saying?
I actually think forwarding Dylan's video would be a great recruitment.
You will send people, I suggest, you send people to the website. It's going to be on the website, okay? We give away, you know, it's a benefit of being a member to have that kind of detailed explanation and understanding.
I agree, but a lot of people don't even know about the organization.
Right. We're working on it, yeah, but that's it. That's what we're saying. And so, but it's that same thing we talked about earlier. If we give them all of that, then that's another reason why I can get it through a coworker. It's just like Costco. If you remember Costco, like you said, Costco has cut down on, the second person you can put on your card. If you don't know.
But they already know that they're getting a 5% raise. They get that from other sources.
Sure.
They don't necessarily know that VGEA did it for them.
Right. Well, and there might be a
That's a conversation point. That's what you can
giving
share.
one, like a sample, like saying, hey, this is an example of the stuff that they put out that we love. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it like every.
Show them
every
your
time.
foresight, how about that? Show them your foresight.
And when you leave, come up my table, I'll give you applications to take back.
Yeah,
No,
show them your
But I see to
foresight.
your point, because just like you said earlier, if you don't know what the benefits are and you don't understand the value that's associated with being a member, then somebody's just giving you, hey, be a member of this association. You're like, why do I care and why would I want to be a part of that? And so providing, and I'm here, just so you know, I'm hearing this as a communications consultant saying, I definitely need to make sure that y'all have the tools in your hands, not just emails, but other things that are really very clearly articulating the benefits of being a part of the VGA and what that means. And so I'm hearing that, and I'm going to get tools into your hands to equip you and empower you to do that.
Okay, so one more follow-up. You said give them the web address instead. Could I email them the web address?
Yes.
You think that's, no, but I'm thinking, on a state system, you think that's safe? I'm serious.
Well, we've never had problems. I don't know if people have had problems with emailing. I'm just saying, we've just got to think about part of this is, yes, we want them to know, but we want to give them everything so that it becomes a disincentive to become a member.
And I
Because they are
know
going to take the waves.
I know Gale just mentioned earlier that the more members we have, the louder our voices at the General Assembly. I can honestly tell you numerous times through the sessions when we're meeting with senators and delegates, they'll say, Rick, how many members y'all got this year? And we'll tell them the best knowledge. I mean, our membership is up and down, so at the moment I'll say approximately this, and this. When you have, say, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 members, and then you have, say, 20,000 people with different, I'm not going to use an example because I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but other organizations that are in there that have large membership. It's not the squeaky wheel gets the oil, but it's similar. The more members we have, the louder voice is going to be. And they actually pretty much acknowledge that.
Well,
So
what I hear is that you're trying to grow the
Yes,
membership.
and we
Like, if I
appreciate
mean,
it, yes.
yeah.
But you have your foresight,
Yeah.
you've been to the meeting. Oh, hey, what you do this weekend?
But I'll get you more tools.
VGA annual
Seriously.
meeting.
All right.
You know, that kind of conversationally too.
I think for Tracy and I, what our biggest struggle is that as soon as we start talking lobbyists, delegates, senators, it starts to go over their head. I mean, it's even went over my head a few times, and that I just can't keep up. And so their emails that I get are, what are my benefits? Well, we used to have VGA benefits, and now everything goes directly to the DHRM. And so they also are saying, well, that's not a benefit for me. I already get that as an employee. I don't get that as a member. But I need something that is really watered down, that, you know,
Yeah, I mean, it does. So that it's your elevator speech, right? It's the elevator speech about why it's important to be a part of the VGA. And what does it mean to me? Because to your point, I mean, what Dylan said earlier was fantastic and what he does on our behalf. But that's a voluminous amount of information that, to your point, would probably yeah, tell me that because of you guys, we got 10% raises. Tell me that we're bolstering the retirement system. Tell me that if I have a grievance that I can come. Tell me that if I have any question about employment that I can go, and these people are really seasoned, amazing people who can help me with policy, like those kind of things.
and I'm running into like really young, we're getting really young employees.
Yes.
Right.
The last thing on their mind is retirement. They don't give a crap
Yes,
about that.
no.
And so I'm struggling to get them involved.
Right.
Because some of them are hyped up about politics and what we do, but others are like, I don't care. I just want to be able to pay my bills, maybe buy a house. So what are you going to give me?
Right.
That's why having a communication specialist consultant has been a very important thing that we wanted to get to, okay? Because when I talk to them, I say VGA, and they say, oh, what's your website? You're on Insta? And that's what's happening. Oh, you're on Insta, okay, we can talk. You know what I mean? Like you exist, you're real.
A lot of us about TikTok.
Right, well, TikTok does nothing. But you know what I'm saying? And this we've been trying to get contemporary, you know what I'm saying? And it's very much needed. You see the physical presence that we've been successful in getting there, and it's coming. You know what I mean? Because it's a different approach. And everything you say times 12, you know, that retirement, we have people, we had a young lady came in our agency, and in 6 weeks she was gone. Got another job, we'll write it down, her title, because titles are important, money is important to them. And she got that title on there, she's gone, she got another job. And I'm in an agency now we're 85 to 90% younger people. Okay, so, and it's going to happen to all the agencies at some point. So it's important that we stay there because we've got to equip them about legislation and priorities and the things that will be important to them. Because if you read the article from the Secretary of Administration and hear what she's telling us, they're ready to go there. If you read that article, she has the perspective of the workforce that we're morphing into very quickly. If you have not read your foresight or visited the website, a lot of what Dylan said is on the website. A lot of what Dylan said is in our legislative updates, by the way, which is the #1 thing that's open when we send communication for VGEA. Those get open, okay? So that equips you to be able to tell people things. And I'll be done after this thing about the benefits. Everybody's doing some kind of incentive, some kind of benefit, some kind of, do this and discounts for this and discounts for that. And it became more beneficial for us to highlight what DHERM has than our efforts to try to come up with things. Because statewide, it's hard to get incentives that would benefit everybody statewide. I know you weren't you, Rick, part of trying to do that, trying to get something through Costco, Sam's Club, all that. I mean, it's commonplace now. So as things come up that are new that we can do, we can definitely look at that. But that's just a challenge. And a lot of people don't like that insurance policy thing we had because the people are so aggressive.
Yeah, they are.
Extremely aggressive.
I canceled it and
okay.
they still contact me.
Okay, yes they do. I was sitting in my driveway when a young man, I was still in my car, he walked up and went to my door, he came back, I rolled the window down and I said, can I help you? And he goes, oh yeah, you requested blah, 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 visited and made an appointment with us. And I said, are you with, I can't think of the insurance company name. I said, are you American, whatever insurance? I said, I'm the president of VGEA. I never told you to come to my home. I never filled out the card. I said, this is an example of what we're getting from our membership, that we've met with, the person that they reported to. And I said, this doesn't play well for you all at all. Okay? So we don't need predator kinds of companies that are just trying to get, people signed up for what they have to offer. So it's just a challenge on that incentive part.
Question, yes. Yep.
Okay. Well, I was going to say actually on that subject, I work in HR, and honestly, I didn't know anything about it until my coworker saw like a poster or something, and we looked it up, and it was like, oh, they're having a meeting, awesome. But I think one incentive, I was trying to hold on to the thought while we were talking earlier, but one incentive to really communicate is the fact that a lot of our employees are working in a climate where they feel like the state doesn't support them or care about them. So to say that you have an association that is built to be your voice, I think that is one thing to really drive home as opposed to focusing on Costco discounts and such. So yeah, you have someone who cares about you. Yeah, you have someone who's willing to be your voice. Yes, to hear what your problems are. And instead of just saying, oh, I'll find out if we get a raise next year, you're part of the discussion prior to the decision being made. So you're actually in the know prior to all that stuff happening. So now you have a platform where you can express those interests. You have a platform where you can voice those issues and concerns and things that say, what's the part, why do I want to work for the state? Well, now you have an area to express why I don't want to work for the state. And they can look into those interests and really do something about it, or at least try, so you have to be fighting for it. So being in HR, when I hear people leave the state or people that don't want to come to the state because there is no incentive in working for the state, negotiate anymore, especially now the telework issues were taken off the table. Okay, well, why do I want to work for the state? Well, now you have an association, you can honestly say, you know what, let me hear what those things are, let me help you with recruitment and retention, and let's do something about making the state a choice employer again. Because when I was younger, working for the state was like high and mighty. You know, I'm a millennial, but I remember growing up, you had a good one.
That's a good job. What is most office, the state?
It's so nice.
That's all I heard growing up.
Like that, you know, people are, it was working for me before coming out. So we have to really honestly look at those issues and concerns and things that are really related to the one to apply. And I think this association can do that. So that is one driving force I would recommend. This is my first time even hearing about you guys. And that is something I definitely would recommend, something to say to other people. And I do like the idea, you said exactly what I was thinking earlier. This is something I would put in my new hire orientation package. So if I had stacks of leads, because I give them information about everything about the state. When I get new hires that come in the door, I'm like, here, this is perfect to put in the package. So you said you partner with DHRM. DHRM sends HR emails. Use them as a resource.
Yeah, they're linked on our website.
Yeah.
Please visit the website. Emily was
They're
phenomenal.
sending us a blast directly.
Yes.
They send us emails like, hey, isn't this is something they should be sending us something about.
I want to nominate her for the board.
Yeah, they're one.
We second.
Congratulations, you're on the board. All right, we've got one last question and then we need to be done, but remember, you can continue to ask questions online or call up. Yes, one last question.
This is really going out of my comfort zone because I don't really speak well from people. And I'm kind of going into to mention about, I've been with the state for this past June, 25 years. And of course, been in Vegas since like maybe 24 and a half years in the membership. So I've seen the benefits through everything, what this whole nation's been helping the state workers, and especially, and I'm like, when I first got on the state, everybody, oh, you got a shoe-in job, you got an excellent job, great benefits. As years went on through, it's just like, why am I even a state worker? It's causing more. I mean, now, before COVID hit, my job, position, job duties, and my counterparts, they were slowly, finally getting with the way the technology is now, the paperwork, why do we have to keep on sending originals in, scan, e-signatures. It's gotten where we were, before COVID hit, we were already in the process of, no contact, because the way I do, I don't have to come in contact with anybody. I'm basically, in a nutshell, data entry. I mean, that's what I work in computers. So then when COVID hit, we okay, now we're really working into remotely. At first, yes, I was like, oh my gosh, do I want to do this? How am I going to do this? But then once I realized my stress level, my high blood pressure, it was, oh my gosh, I was like, man, I never realized how tense you were in a working environment in an office. And then when I went remotely, it was just like,
we've heard that from so many.
It is, but like I said, the stress level went down, the high blood pressure went down. It was just, I felt better, I felt more comfortable. Because what I do, I don't have to deal with anybody, or with customers or internal customers, outside, nothing. And then 2.5 years, they sit there with my position and counterparts, we were meeting our deadlines, meeting our time, no errors, the work was great. So why in the day, I get emotional, I'm sorry. I don't understand why, if you do not have any contact with customers, internal or external, why are we going back to the office to sit there? And I'm sitting in here, once we're going back, I'm sitting there, why am I even here?
nobody's benefiting from me to be in this office, and I'm not benefiting from anybody else. I know the word was communication. My job is already in policy. Here, this is what your job duties is. I do not come, go to anybody to say, hey, let's come up with a better way. It's already in writing when I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. We've got it in now, but I want to say that is definitely, we've heard that over and over and over, and that's directly tied to retention issues. We know that state employees want that flexibility, and that's why telework was the second behind compensation, the second most requested legislative. Yeah,
I just got one.
To me too, I'm really sad, and really sad, it's something that doesn't come really fast.
Yeah.
Where you can go back to totally, for 2.5 years. If you can remotely work for 2.5 years, then why, I don't know.
I've got one question for you. When you saw the surveys coming out that Liz sent out, did you respond to them?
Oh, yeah,
That's the whole purpose of thank you for responding. Thank you.
All right, we've got to wrap up because we've got to switch rooms. Where do they go next to Marshall? Wait, yes.
Okay. Your next meeting is across the hall, and it'll be VRS with the active employees. Thank you for coming. We appreciate all your comments.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.